Indonesia's forests are disappearing faster than ever before. Some of the most diverse ecosystems on the planet, these forests are being devastated by a tidal wave of rampant timber theft. Most of this contraband wood finds its way onto the international markets. The profits from this wholesale plundering of the country's natural resources are enriching organised criminals and corrupt politicians, while Indonesia and its people are starved of vital revenue. EIA and Telepac investigations over the last 5 years have shown how timber thieves invade Indonesia's protected areas, including the world-famous Tanjung Puting National Park in Borneo. These forests are home to the endangered orangutan, Asia's only great ape. Loggers came to Tanjung Puting in search of ramin, a valuable blonde hardwood destined for export markets, very little of which now remains outside of protected areas. In an attempt to garner the assistance of the international community in halting the trade in stolen ramin, in April 2001, Indonesia decided to list the species on Appendix 3 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, or CITES, to which most of the world's governments are signatories. The listing requires all legal shipments of ramin to be accompanied by CITES permits, enabling consumer countries to identify and seize shipments of illegally sourced wood. Malaysia is the only country that has put in a reservation to this ramin listing.
If we were going to look at how successful the ramin listing on CITES was going to be, we had to look at Malaysia. And Malaysia has got a thriving ramin industry. They produce furniture and all kinds of dowels and stuff for the world market. But they don't have a huge supply of ramin themselves. They have some, but not a huge supply. And historically, they have relied quite heavily on Indonesian ramin. Now, since Indonesia banned ramin exports, then we should have seen a reduction in the products that Malaysia makes out of ramin because they shouldn't have had enough supply, but we haven't.
In August 2001, after the CITES listing had taken effect, EIA and Telepac investigators found this barge loaded with ramin logs in the town of Batu Pahat in Malaysia, which had recently arrived from Indonesia. Investigators also found illegal ramin logs at the nearby historic port town of Malacca. The logs were arriving at landing points staffed by Malaysian officials. The information was passed to the authorities, but to little effect. In April 2003, investigators revisited Batu Pahat and once more found illegal Indonesian ramin logs openly on sale. Wooden vessels carrying the logs were seen passing police and customs vessels without hindrance. Once more, the Malaysian government was told. But our latest investigations in late 2003 have exposed continued ramin laundering at an unprecedented scale. Acting on a tip-off, we visited the large port of Johor in Peninsular Malaysia. Posing as traders, we toured the port, accompanied by staff of the privatised Port Authority. During the tour, we were shown 3 large warehouses in the free trade zone, stacked high with ramin sawn timber.
All this ramin, right?
Okay.
Port staff admitted that all the ramin is from Indonesia and explained how the wood is air-dried before being packed into shipping containers destined for Hong Kong and China. The port authorities then organised for us to meet the shipping agent in charge of the timber, a Mr. Chu, who confirmed that none of the ramin at the port has CITES permits, and he explained how the authorities helped produce a false paper trail for the timber, showing it as Origin Malaysia.
99% of the ramin is all smuggled.
Right, I see.
You see? We can't wait for Suharto's cronies to sell it to us.
But if we brought this stuff into Europe or the US, we would need a document that was a
There's
CITES
no-
document?
No, you don't need it because it's BL everything. We can arrange it as a country of origin, Malaysia.
Right, okay.
So this timber is won't considered as an Indonesian product. So
Right, okay. I see.
all those ramen, as you see, I saw here is all CITES free.
I see. Because it's from Malaysia.
Yeah. Malaysia.
Okay.
Wooden vessels from Jambi in Indonesia's Sumatra island, each carrying around 100 tons of stolen ramen, arrive in the port each day. The government office in charge of implementing CITES rules for ramen in Peninsular Malaysia, the Malaysian Timber Industry Board, MTIB, has an office in Johor Port. Despite this, around 70,000 cubic metres of banned Indonesian ramen is being laundered through the ports to the Far East each year in as many as 2,000 shipping containers. This is more than twice as much ramen than is legally produced in the whole of Malaysia. From Johor, the team of investigators travelled to Cebu, a timber town in Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo, one of the major suppliers of ramen onto world markets. Acting as potential buyers, we visited a major trader in the town. The trader, from the company Allied Lumber, revealed how the many local ramen factories supplement their raw materials with illegal Indonesian wood. In follow-up phone calls, Mr. Ha revealed more details of how the laundering occurs and how this involves the Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation, or STIDC, the local authority charged with issuing CITES permits.
So basically, they know that the wood comes from Indonesia.
Yes.
But they will still issue the permit.
Yeah, yes, but this is not every people can do it.
I see. You have to know the STIDC staff properly.
Yes, correct.
This is not a rare event, as Mr. Ha explained.
And how often would you say this happens? I mean, what percentage of the ramen which is being shipped from Sarawak to Europe would have actually originated in Indonesia?
Oh, the percentage, I don't think so much, because maybe the total volume may be about 30%, 40%.
So about 30 to 40% of the ramen that's coming from Sarawak now actually originates in Indonesia.
Yes.
An independent industry source corroborated this story. In Johor, the shipping agent, Mr. Chu, also claimed that using the Malaysian paperwork provided when the ramen was laundered through the port, his contacts in Hong Kong and China were able to buy CITES permits. This would enable us to bring the illegal wood into the US or Europe. He even provided a flowchart by email to illustrate the laundering process, ending with the legalised ramen safely arriving in the US or Europe and an invitation to pop the champagne. This laundered ramen is used to manufacture pool cues and picture frame mouldings in China for re-export to the West. In Cebu, Mr. Ha explained how local mills supply some of the laundered Indonesian ramen sawn timber to a nearby moulding manufacturer called Ko Ying. Investigators visited Ko Ying's large facility with Mr. Ha, where shipments of ramen dowels and paintbrush handles were being prepared for export to Europe and the US. The owner, a Mr. Philip Law, told of how he had 6,000 cubic metres of ramen in stock and how he can easily obtain CITES permits to export the wood. Mr. Ha explained later in a telephone conversation how this works.
The STIDC actually, they can show it, this one you buy it from Sarawak, that's all. They are not asking what the country they're coming from.
I see. So you just got to have bought the sawn timber from someone inside Sarawak.
Yes.
And if that person has already brought it in from Indonesia and obtained the right documents, then there's no problem.
Yes.
I see. Well,
Yes, it's just very simple for the buyer. your custom won't ask for this certificate. What is the origin? Because it's clearly said that this origin is from Sarawak.
Documents obtained from US authorities confirm that Ko Ying regularly shipped ramen mouldings to the USA. Investigators found the name of Mr. Ha's elder brother, the owner of Allied Lumber, in the visitor's book of a company based in Kuantan in Peninsular Malaysia called Twins Furniture. Twins are one of the world's largest manufacturers of baby cots, which they export to the US, Japan and Europe. Around half of these are made from ramen wood. Posing as traders, we received a guided tour of Twins' large factory complex and met with Mr. Go, the company owner. During the meeting, he stated we would not need CITES permits for the ramen cribs the company produce. Later, we telephoned to confirm what he had told us.
What I'm trying to find out is to get confirmation from yourself about that we do not need CITES permits for the ramen cribs to bring them to Europe. Is that correct?
You mean to UK or to UK market?
To UK, yeah. We also possibly US, but UK initially, yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, ramen is okay to sell to UK market, no problem.
We don't need the CITES permits for the UK.
No CITES.
I see. So you are currently shipping regularly to the UK.
Yes, I ship a lot to UK with ramen, baby crib, but without CITES.
All the time.
Yes.
During our visit, Twins executives were nevertheless quick to assure us that they only used Malaysian wood. Yet Mr. Go had claimed to have 11,000 cubic metres of ramen timber in stock, which is twice what local forests can supply in a year. Intrigued, we paid a visit to Twins' sawmill. There we spoke to a worker stripping bark from Malaysian ramen logs who explained how Twins actually supplement their local raw material supplies with Indonesian wood.
Itu sana dia punya kayu, ada kayu peta-peta itu, yang kayu sudah belah di sana.
Okay.
Sana itu Indonesia.
Oh, ramen juga
Ramen ada, melawis ada.
di sana.
Itu ini sana dekat mesin sana kan?
Ya.
Jalan pergi sana tadi.
Twins juga.
Twins juga.
We tracked down ramen baby furniture from Twins on sale in the US and the UK. One bed on sale in a Pottery Barn kids store in the US is advertised as manufactured from maple. Those shipping documents obtained by EIA state that examples of the same model were shipped from Kuantan in Malaysia and are made of ramen. Our investigations have shown that Indonesian ramen is being laundered through Malaysia on an unprecedented scale. As a result, cues, picture frames, dowels and baby cots made from endangered trees stolen from Indonesia's national parks are reaching the homes of unsuspecting consumers around the world.
We've handed our information over to the Malaysian authorities, and of course we want the Malaysian authorities to act and act decisively. But that's not enough, because what we've seen, we've done this before, what we've seen is official complicity in this, and we need that to be dealt with as well. We have to deal with the corruption that is driving this trade. Now, Malaysia has failed CITES. It's put in a reservation on this particular species. We'd like to see them remove that reservation, join in, try and stop this scourge in the various methods that other countries in the region have done to try and cooperate to stop the scourge of illegal logging rather than profiting from it. Indonesia, of course, as well, has got to carry out better enforcement. It's got to arrest the kingpins. We name a kingpin in our new report. Go for him, find him, prove what's going on. We've got evidence. We need to see people like this taken out of the trade, or it will just continue. The international community cannot trust ramen from any source. Indonesia doesn't want to sell it to the international community, and Malaysia is using Indonesian ramen and putting it onto the international market, naming it as origin from Malaysia. Don't buy ramen. It can't be trusted. Not until the Malaysian government has sorted out what's going on in that country now and opened its arms to the international community and the efforts that are being made to stop illegal logging.